Om 5127 Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thus situated in the renounced order from the beginning of their lives, all three of them completely controlled the activities of their senses and thus became great saints. They concentrated their minds always upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the residing place of the totality of living entities, and who is therefore celebrated as Vasudeva. Lord Vasudeva is the only shelter of those who are actually afraid of material existence. By constantly thinking of his lotus feet, these three sons of Maharaj Priyavrata became advanced in pure devotional service. By the prowess of their devotional service, they could directly perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was situated in everyone's heart as the Supersoul, and realized that there was qualitatively no difference between themselves and him. Purport. The Paramahamsa stage is the topmost position in renounced life. In sannyasa, the renounced order, there are four stages: Kutichak, Bahudak, Paribhajakacharya, and Paramahamsa. According to the Vedic system, when one accepts the renounced order, he stays outside his village in a cottage, and his necessities, especially his food, are supplied from home. This is called Kutichak stage. When a sannyasi advances further, he no longer accepts anything from home. Instead, he collects his necessities, especially his food, from many places. This system is called Madhukari, meaning literally the profession of the bumblebees. As the bumblebees collect honey from many flowers, a little from each, so a sannyasi should beg from door to door, but not accept very much food from any particular house. He should collect a little bit from every house. This is called the Bahukstak stage. When the sannyasi is still more experienced, he travels all over the world to preach the glories of the Lord Vasudeva. He is then known as Paribhajakacharya. The sannyasi reaches the paramahamsa stage when he finishes his preaching work and sits down in one place strictly for the sake of advancing in spiritual life. An actual paramahamsa is one who has completely controlled his senses and engages in the unalloyed service of the Lord. Therefore, all three of these sons of Priyavrata, namely Kavi, Mahavir, and Savana, were situated in the Paramahamsa stage from the very beginning. Their senses could not disturb them, for their senses were completely engaged in serving the Lord. Therefore, the three brothers are described in this verse as Upashama Shila. Upashama means completely subdued. Because they completely subdued their senses, they are understood to have been great sages and saints. After subduing their senses, these three brothers concentrated their minds upon the lotus feet of Vasudeva, Lord Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:19, Vasudeva Sarvamati, the lotus feet of Vasudeva are everything. Lord Vasudeva is the reservoir of all living entities. When this cosmic manifestation is dissolved, all living entities enter into the supreme body of the Lord Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who merges with the body of Mahavishnu. Both of these Vishnu tattvas are Vasudeva tattvas, and therefore the great sages Kavi, Mahavir, and Shavana concentrated always upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva Krishna. In this way, they could understand that the super soul within the heart is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they could recognize their identity with him. The complete description of the realization is thus that simply by discharging the unalloyed form of devotional service, one can realize his self completely. The Parama Bhakti Yoga mentioned in this verse means the living entity, by dint of unalloyed devotional service, has no other interest in the service of the Lord, as described in Bhagavad Gita, Vasudeva Sarvamati, Gita 7:19. By Parama Bhakti Yoga, by elevating oneself to the highest platform of loving service, one can automatically be relieved from the bodily concept of life and see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita. Premam janacharita bhakti valochanena santak sadavra hridayesha valokayanti yang shama shunjanamachanjaguna svarupam govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. An advanced devotee is known as a sat or saint, can always see within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Krishna Shama Sundar expands himself by his plenary portion, and thus the devotee can always see him within his heart. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatam Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Scha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, the question would naturally arise, our Srila Prabhupada was certainly in the highest stage of paramahamsa, so why was he traveling and preaching? Does that mean he came down from the paramahamsa stage to the parivrajacacharya stage? He somehow diminished his position? That's the question. Well, obviously the answer is no. Such a pure devotee is never diminished in any way in his realization and his connection with Krishna. So therefore we can understand sometimes the paramahamsas, out of extreme compassion upon us souls suffering in this material existence, come down and act as if they are parivrajakacharyas, even though they are paramahamsas. That's the obvious understanding. It's also very interesting to note how the paramahamsas can actually see Krishna directly, face to face, within their hearts. And they can also experience Krishna directly externally also, as Prabhupada established the world headquarters of ISKCON in Los Angeles, New Dwarka. But then he wanted to stay in New Dwarka. Now I've got my world headquarters, but Krishna, the deity, instructed him, no, you must go to India. Prabhupada was arguing back, they were having a debate actually back and forth. Prabhupada explained, they were having a debate back and forth. He was debating with the deity, and the deity finally surrendered. And the Krishna Balaram temple was the result of Prabhupada surrendering to the order of Dwarkadish to come to India and establish a temple. So this is a very, very wonderful thing, that one can see Krishna directly. Now we're not able to see Krishna, we just see the material nature. We don't actually experience Krishna, but actually Krishna is there, but we can't see him because our eyes are covered by lust, anger, madness, illusion, and envy. As I many times explain, this verse, anointing the eyes with the salve of love of God. So we have to, as I many times explained, by hearing from the pure devotees, then one can actually anoint the eyes of the salve of love of God. And right now we have cataracts, so we can't see properly. We have the cataracts of material desire flooding, blocking our vision of Krishna, but actually Krishna is there. We just simply have to get free of the blocks. It's not that Krishna is not there, or it's some Hindu myth. But no, Krishna is scientific fact. Krishna is actually present before us, within our hearts, and even externally Krishna is present as well. But we can't see Krishna because we're being carried away by the waves of the material nature. Indriyanam hichadatam yanmano vidiyate tatasahadati prayam vaya ramabhisambhasi. As a boat in the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the senses in which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. So we've been carried away by the boat on the wind. Just a matter of a boat sitting out in the ocean. Nice, been some wind. It's sitting right there by the shore. But some big, huge wind comes and blows it many hundreds of miles out to sea. You see. So that's our position. We've been blown many, many miles out to sea, caught up in the quagmire of material existence. So therefore our motto is back to home, back to Godhead. We have to get back to being who we actually are. There's no sense trying to be who you're not. It doesn't really work. It's madness. It's difficult. It's bewildering to try to be what you're not. But we take shelter of the great Vaishnavacharya, His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. We can get back to being who we actually are. Know who you are and be who you are. We can come back to our natural position. So as Prabhupada has explained to us, Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. It is the awakening of the original natural energy of the living being. So we have to associate with the saintly persons. You see, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sarva shastrikai. Sadhu sangha, lavamatra, sarva siddhi. Even in one moment, lavamatra, even one moment's association is all it takes. Even one moment's association. It's so powerful. On our own, we cannot do it, you see. On our own strength, it's not powerful to overpower the influence of the modes of nature. It's not possible. We don't have the strength, the ability, the intelligence, the potency to do that. But when you have the Shakti, even lavamatra, 1/11th of a second, can you imagine how small that is, 1/11th of a second? I mean, it's very, very brief. A lavamatra, 1/11th of a second is all it takes. That much contact, you see. So we see how our beloved founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he came and blessed those youngsters there in New York City with his divine presence, and they were completely transformed. Then he went to San Francisco, the same thing. So Prabhupada therefore kindly traveled all over the world. He took up here as a paramahamsa, acting as a parivajacharya, for the sake of giving that lavamatra, that 1/11th of a second association. There's so many hundreds and thousands of young boys and girls who were caught up in the karma chakra, the cycle of birth and death. So that same potency is still there. It's in his books also. Just by touching one of these books, one can get that lavamatra. All you have to do is even touch one of these books, or even read one word from one of these books. So this book distribution is so a very, very, very valuable thing. Even just very brief contact, you can have a tremendous transformational effect upon the living entity. So for us souls who are still struggling to get out of the modes of nature, begging for the mercy, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We know Prabhupada has told us what to do. Rise early in the morning, attend Mangal Arati, Tulsi worship, chant japa very sincerely and steadily every day, at least 16 rounds, hear the Bhagavatam class, and this way worship the spiritual master. In this way, by connecting ourselves with these divine instructions of our beloved Srila Prabhupada, we can actually become revived. Our original nature can be revived. We can actually come to the point of seeing Krishna face to face. Krishna is actually present, and we can actually come back into fully experience his divine presence once again, even though we've been separated for millions and billions and quadrillions of lifetimes. we can once again experience His divine presence 24/7. That's what we're meant to taste. That's what we're meant to experience. That is what's going on in the spiritual world. And even that same atmosphere of the spiritual world, we can have that same feeling, that same experience here. We see the proof of Bimalmangala Thakur. Even sitting here in Vrindavan for 700 years, can you imagine, as a blind old man, can you imagine? For 700 years sitting as a blind old man here in this very place, Vrindavan. He was actually transported by the mercy of his spiritual master and the great Acharya, even by the blessings of his own girlfriend, Chintamani, reminded him, you see, what are you doing running after this flesh and blood? Don't you realize you'd be much better off if you went after Krishna? You see? So we take advantage of all these great blessings that just as Bimalmangala Thakur was greatly blessed, we are also being greatly, greatly blessed. So let's cash in on our blessings. Take full advantage of our blessings and thus become liberated souls who can directly reconnect with our original relationship with Krishna and His transcendental pastimes. So we have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
You always hear this. Sadhu Sangha, Lavamatra, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Does it automatically happens?
Yes and no. Actually, just like the Harinam party is Sadhu Sangha, without even desiring it, without even wanting it, they automatically get it. So it's automatically there, but it's also, if one takes advantage of it,
Exactly.
then one gets a million times more benefit. So it's automatically given by it's like the Ratha Yatra festival, people automatically get Sadhu Sangha.
No, one has to reciprocate it. Then one takes advantage of it. Then Lavamatra, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi.
What's the point I was making? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. In the purport, we studied like the 4 kinds of sannyasis. Their stages are mentioned. So I just wanted to understand, is it like they are elevating gradually from one stage to another, or
It does what?
they are elevating from one stage to another, like Uti Chakra, then Bahudaka, or?
That's just a matter of their own practice. Say, okay, I've been doing Kuti Chak for a while, now let me go to Bahudak. It's a matter of the sannyasi make a decision. Here I am a sannyasi getting, my wife is sending food every day. Here I'm sitting outside the village, but somebody's bringing foodstuffs to my wife every day, my wife's cooking. So he's Kuti Chak. He said, well, what is it taking my wife's cooking? I'm a sannyasi taking my wife's cooking? Let me just take a little here, a little there, and not take my wife's cooking anymore. It's a matter of decisions. It's the decision of the sannyasi himself, what he wants to do. It's not that he gradually, it's actually, it's not a gradual transition, it's abrupt. On day one, see, one day he's taking food from home, next day he's not. It's like immediate, not a gradual thing. He immediately decides, okay, that's it. I've not taken food from home long enough, and now I'll wander about taking a little here, a little there.
Yeah, because the general concept we have about the sannyasi is like total renounce. Means at his own, he travels alone. So that's what concept we get. But
in ISKCON, you mean? Well, in ISKCON, it's like Paravajakacharya. In ISKCON, we don't have Kuti Chak and Bahudak. Do you think we should introduce it?
No.
No, Prabhupada did not introduce Kuti Chak and Bahudak. Prabhupada encouraged Paravajakacharya, the traveling and preaching. That was how he engaged the sannyasi.
And one more question is, can we use this title of Paramahamsa for our spiritual master also? Despite being which ashram they are in?
I personally don't recommend it, no. Titles can lead all kinds of criticisms. No, I wouldn't. No, I would say no. Don't call your spiritual master paramahamsa. That's what I would. That's my take on it. Because then it can lead to all kinds of criticisms for one thing. Especially if he's married. If he's married, he's not even a sannyasi. I would say no, definitely not.
Yeah, because Paramhansa is like for the very highly advanced devotee, for the pure devotees, the title is used. It's not just for the sannyasi, you know.
We're saying Paramhamsa to Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Yeah, he is Grihastha.
Eh?
He is into Grihastha. Bhaktivinoda.
But it's ISKCON says we should not, so we should.
Okay.
Well, Paramahamsa means he can see Krishna face to face within the heart. So I would not advertise. I would not say yes. Call your spiritual master Paramahamsa. Definitely.
So just like to clarify it, so Paramhansa is not just stick to one ashram only. It is for any who is very much advanced.
Yeah, but I would, because a Paramahamsa can see Krishna face to face, and I'm not seeing Krishna face to face yet. To be honest, Prabhupada told me to become qualified to see Krishna. I haven't achieved it yet. I can't see Krishna. I can't close my eyes and see Krishna's face and smiling at me and give me instructions. I'm not on that level. I'd like to be, but I'm not. Therefore, I would say don't use the title Paramahamsa for my lowly self. That's what I would say. Now, if somebody disagrees with that, I may argue with them. But Prabhupada directly told me, qualify yourself as Krishna face to face, and I haven't achieved it yet. So I present myself as the postal workers delivering a cashier's check for $1 billion. That's my position. I would not approve of being called Paramahamsa. No, definitely not. I'm sorry if you want to call me Paramahamsa. But I have to be an honest person. I can't be a cheater. There's enough cheaters and rascals out there calling themselves as avatars and this and that. We have enough cheaters already. Anything else? Yeah.
Srila Gurudev, what is the actual meaning to see the Krishna face to face? Is
Like
it
I'm
to
seeing you face to face. It's very simple. I'm
is it-
seeing you face to face. I can see. I saw you blink your eyes. I can see you smiling now. Face to face is not just. I mean, it's just like you've seen it. It's common sense. Seeing somebody face to face, like seeing your brother face to face, or even seeing a dog face to face. It's a common sense thing. It's not some mystical thing. Well, surely I'm seeing Krishna face. I can close my eyes and I can see Krishna Balaram. I had the darshan this morning, and I can close my eyes and see Krishna Balaram. So now I'm Krishna seeing. It's not like that. You can have, oh yes, I'm seeing Krishna face to face, because I can close my eyes and see Jagannath. Not like that. It's actually being able to have reciprocation. That's what it really means.
Does that happen to anybody?
Does that happen to everybody?
Anybody.
It can happen to anyone when they become a paramahamsa. But not when they
Because
remain.
Paramahamsa to all the sannyasis, they are all seeing them.
We call all the sannyasis paramahamsa?
Yeah.
Well-
Parivajakacharyas.
Huh?
Parivajakacharyas. Paramahamsa Parivajakacharyas.
Are the sannyasis, so all the sannyasis seeing Krishna face to face?
Yeah. And then they see so.
Then why so many fell down and went back to sex life?
That's not right.
No, I would not say that all the ISKCON sannyasis are paramahamsas, that they're seeing Krishna directly face to face, eye to eye. I would not make such a claim. And history certainly verifies the same point. So many fell down from sannyas. We have to be, it's like, flowery language is very nice, but let's be scientific.
Is it not, Gurudev, someone is following the instruction of Guru and Krishna, life and soul, he is saying
Someone is following,
Seeing
paying the
the
order of Guru and Krishna.
face
Yeah.
to face in the order of Guru and Krishna.
Somebody is fully surrendered to the order. That's very nice. That means somebody is fully surrendered to the order of the spiritual master. That means they are mature in Krishna consciousness. They're totally fixed, nishtha, completely fixed and following the order of the spiritual master. They're called mature in Krishna consciousness.
Is it same thing to see?
Huh?
Is it same thing to see face to face?
Same thing as seeing Krishna face to face now. There's a nishta state. There's a shraddha, having faith in the process. Sadhu Sangha, taking shelter of the saintly person, Sadhu Sangha. Getting initiated, bhajana kriya, narjana, giving up all kinds of sinful activities, and then nishta, becoming a fixed devotee. But there's 3 more stages beyond that, you see. Asakti, bhava, and prema. Ruchi. Then there's the ruchi stage, a very high level of ruchi. Ruchi means they have so much taste in the name they can go on chanting 24 hours a day and never get tired. That's a very high level. How many ISKCON devotees are actually on ruchi level? Who could ask? Who go on chanting, 120 rounds every day, in great ecstasy. Do you know any devotees who are chanting 120 rounds in total bliss? You know when Manaji is doing it? Huh? Well, that's nice, 120 rounds every day. So, these, to actually see Krishna face to face, to realize one's relationship in the spiritual world, this is high level stuff. Let's not imagine that, so-and-so Das has realized he's a gopi. Let's be realistic and not sentimentalists. We have to be scientific about this, not sentimentalists.
Thank you, Guru.
Yeah.
If we get Krishna in our dream, is it like face to face? Can we consider that?
That's very nice, you seeing Krishna in your dream. That's very nice. That's very good. Yeah, you're dreaming about Krishna often?
I got dream once for Radharani and Prabhupada.
That's very nice. It's a special mercy. It doesn't mean you're in the paramahamsa stage. No, but it's very nice. If you're going to have Radharani and Krishna in your dream, it's very, very good. It's a special mercy. Anything else?
Hare Krishna Gurudev. My question is how I become a pure devotee.
Well, you become a pure devotee is chant 16 rounds of japa every day, at least 16 rounds, and give up illicit sex, meat-eating, intoxication, and gambling. And at the same time, always remember Krishna at every minute and never forget him. Always see Krishna as the enjoyer and you as the servant. Never try to enjoy separately from Krishna. Always try to give pleasure to Krishna in everything you do.
And also how I can focus on my chanting.
The easiest trick for focusing on chanting is do it before the sunrise in the early morning, Brahma Muhurta. Before the sunrise, it's a very conducive time for meditation. It's easy to keep the mind fixed before the sun comes up. If you will chant before sunrise every day, it's very powerful for getting the mind completely absorbed in Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Yato nishchalati manaschanchalamustaram tatastata naya from wherever and wherever the mind, from whatever and wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, we must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So we have to learn how to keep that mind fixed in Krishna consciousness. The mind keeps going away, try to enjoy here, try to enjoy there. Even in very subtle ways also the mind is trying to enjoy this way and that way. We'd say, okay mind, don't do that. Don't try to enjoy any way separately from Krishna's pleasure. now simply become thinking, remembering, absorbing oneself in the transcendental name, fame, forms, pastimes, entourage, and paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you have to learn how to become completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day in every situation. See everything in relation with Krishna. See nothing in relation to your own enjoyment. See everything in relation to Krishna. So if one trains oneself to do that, especially as a young boy, it's much easier. So take advantage of your being Krishna conscious now. It's a great blessing. Because once you get older, it's very easy to be distracted. So take advantage of it right now, to youth, to let Krishna Bhakti be your only desire. I have no desire except to become Krishna's pure devotee, and do everything in that mood, and your life will be a grand success. Yes.
How many mala you are chanting? How many mala you chant?
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
rounds daily karu chanting.
7 or 8.
7-8 rounds.
Around
I gave him one big bag and mala, so he has started chanting. He is our neighbor, so they are not from ISKCON, but they take prasadam only, offering bhoga, and then they chant different mantras, parents, but he never used to chant, but now recently he has started chanting. So he wanted to visit here, so that's why he came.
So you can bring him here. Now 2 days left.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev. When we are in association with strong devotees,
Strong devotees?
Yes, it is very easy to practice in a very fixed manner.
Yeah.
But how to carry that same level when we are away from the...
Keep the strong devotees always in your heart. Always remember the strong devotees. You can associate with them physically or within your heart also. Remember their instructions, remember their associations. By keeping the memory of the strong devotees within your heart, that will keep you always packed up in their association.
Thank you.
Anything else? Yeah.
I want to refer to this passage, and in that it is from similar.
Today's
to
verse?
Context is same as today's verse.
So just tell me verbally, what's your question?
It is written that without accepting the renounced order of life, nobody can become a preacher.
Slow down a little bit.
It is written that without accepting the renounced order
Without
of
accepting.
the renounced order of life.
Without accepting.
The renounced order of
the
life.
renounced order of life.
Nobody can become a preacher.
Nobody can become.
A preacher.
Become what?
A preacher.
A preacher.
This was.
Okay. So only the sannyasis can preach, nobody else can preach, right?
It is from.
I'm asking you. I mean, only the sannyasis can preach, nobody else, right? Then why did Prabhupada engage everybody in preaching? Even little Saraswati, a little girl, Prabhupada engaged everybody in preaching. So what's how does one resolve that apparent conflict, one could ask? Well, in other words, there's the literal renounced order of life and the transcendental understanding of the renounced order of life. In other words, anyone who's actually embraced Krishna consciousness is their only business, whether they're a brahmachari, brahmacharini, a householder, a vanaprastha, or sannyasi. Anybody who's embraced that is their goal of life. Practically speaking, they're in the renounced order already. You understand? We're talking about varnashram, right? Renounced order means the varnashram dharma. But one who embraces Krishna bhakti is his only business. He's beyond the renounced order of life, higher level. You understand? Next question.
Can I add something to him?
Sure.
What does he understand by renounced? One who has given up desires for material sense gratification. The devotees come in, who takes up Krishna consciousness, they give up their sense gratificatory activities and live according to the Shastra. Then they are all renounced. Not only wearing saffron, and mind is still never thinking about opposite object of the opposite senses. Okay?
Let me take a Chakmano now then. I neglected the Chakmano. Isn't it that relishing the Sarupa in the spiritual world a normal thing rather than a high level thing? Of course it's normal in the spiritual world. Everybody's relishing their relationship with Krishna. That's the natural thing everybody does. The peacock relishing being a peacock, the flute's relishing being a flute, the gopis are relishing being a gopi. Everyone's relishing their rasa. That's true. It's a normal, natural thing. Okay. Or is it that the jiva has degraded so much that relishing the original natural thing has become very high level? Actually, it's beyond our reach right now. Right now, it's totally beyond our reach because we've been, instead of trying, we've cut off our loving relationship, our Swarupa with Krishna, thinking, well, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. We're cut ourselves off from that Swarupa, that relationship with Krishna. So it's beyond our reach right now. We're so contaminated. We can't, but the day will come, we'll become purified. Oh yeah, I remember now. I'm this and that. I have this identity. I'm this cowherd boy. I'm this cowherd girl. I'm a cow or a cow. I actually remember, oh yeah, I remember I'm a calf. And every day I go running in the forest with Krishna and Balaram. I'm actually a calf. That's my eternal identity. You'll come back to him, oh yeah, I'm a calf. I can run into Vrindavan with Krishna. You'll actually realize and greatly relish remembering who you actually are and can enter into that loving relationship once again. So right now we're too contaminated to even remember it, but to speak of relishing it. If you try to relish it now, you're called sahajya, one who tries to take it cheaply, the process. Don't try to jump to your sarupa. If you do, you'll never achieve it. Don't try to dump your sarupa, if you try to dump to your sarupa, you're dumping your sarupa. Don't try to jump, you will dump. You see? Don't dump it by jumping for it. Just be a completely sold out servant of your spiritual master. That's the key. And dasa dasa nudasa. That's the key. If you don't want to be the servant of the spiritual master, you'll never achieve your sarupa in millions and billions of lifetimes. But if you become the completely sold out servant of your spiritual master, that's the key. You had a question?
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. How did Srila Billamangal Thakur leave all the past bad habits immediately?
How did Bhaktivinoda Thakur give up all that bad habits immediately?
Srila Billamangal Thakur.
Vibhamangala? Oh. You know the story. He was running after, he had in America we call them girlfriends, in India they're known as prostitutes. Anyhow, he was running like crazy to that prostitute. There was his father's funeral ceremony was going on. He said, hurry up, I gotta go. And the water was raging. He grabbed a hold of a corpse to get across the river. And his girlfriend, Chintamani, said, oh, if you had so much attachment to Krishna, you did this flesh and blood, how much better you would be. And he went, oh yeah. So he actually realized it. Yes, I must take up Krishna Bhakti as my only business. Let me go to Vrindavan. But on the way, he saw a very beautiful lady. He followed her home. The husband received her as a very aristocratic brahmana. How can I satisfy? I'd like to enjoy with your wife. He said, yes, my dear wife, make yourself beautiful. He wants to enjoy with you. But then you know the story. And he said, he realized again, what have I done? I was going to Vrindavan to give up this nonsense sex attraction. Again, I've been attracted to a woman. He said, Manaji, please give me your hairband. He put out his eyes. He made his first attempt, he fell down, but this time, that was he put his eyes out with that the Mataji's hairpins, and he was, and that's how he became completely absorbed, and he never gave it up after that. Poking on his eyes was what did, and that he went completely in a pure devotional service at that point. No more running after a woman's body. Now I simply want Krishna and nothing but Krishna. It was like a very that was it. He had that realization. He put his eyes on.
Prostitute and girlfriend.
Huh?
Prostitute and girlfriend are two different things.
Prabhupada very clearly explains, and there's no argument here, what in America is known as a girlfriend, in India is known as a prostitute. I'm not going to debate with you, with Prabhupada very clearly states it.
I also know something. Prostitute means a professional woman, where the man goes.
I have no argument. I'm following what Prabhupada said.
Okay.
If you want to debate with Prabhupada, that's your business, but I'm not going to debate with Prabhupada.
Okay. I'm not going to debate, but I'm just letting this everybody knows. Girlfriend is...
Yeah, in modern day terminology, a prostitute means paid. You pay your money for sex. But in traditional Vedic culture, any woman who's having sex outside of marriage is considered a prostitute. Even if she's doing it for free, she's considered a prostitute, according to the Vedic culture, according to Prabhupada. That's not the normal modern day use of the term, that's true. But traditionally, a woman who was having sex outside of marriage was considered a prostitute, even though she was doing it for free, for fun or whatever.
Yeah, outside of marriage, that's
Huh?
another thing. That's another thing, outside marriage.
Huh?
Those who are married and having another man, that is prostitution.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody does for men. Just like we can set the example of Raghunath Das Goswami. He was waiting at the door of Jagannath Mandir for somebody come and give him prasadam. But he felt like that he was acting like a prostitute and waiting for the customers to come and give him.
Yeah.
There are so many ways.
Well, certainly that definition was there even in Vedic culture.
Yeah.
But it applied also to those who were having sex outside of marriage. Anything else? We got enough time for one more question. Yeah.
Srila Gurudev, I have just one follow-up question, if you may allow. The realizations that I'm having, it is not...
What you're having?
The realizations.
Oh, very good. You're having realizations. That's great.
Srila Gurudev, what I could understand that one having realization is very important to stay away from these bad habits, like Bhagavatam Thakur, he had the realization. But in my case, what I experience is that the realizations, they come. I mean, I understand the scriptures, but it is not 24 hours. And when I'm not Krishna conscious, it is then I'm most vulnerable. So
even Bhagavatam Thakur it wasn't 24 hours in the beginning. It was partial realization, but it became 24 hours after he put his eyes out. You understand? His realization was there, but it was incomplete till he put his eyes out. Actually, even in his previous lifetime, he got all the way to the Bhava stage. He had become almost perfect, but he achieved the Bhava platform in his previous lifetime. He didn't get to prema. Because of that, he took birth again in an aristocratic family. So one can, until you achieve prema, the realizations are always they're incomplete till you get to the prema stage. Whatever you've realized about Krishna is very good, but until we achieve prema, the realizations are always imperfect and incomplete. That's why he fell down again and became, in the next lifetime is Bhiva Mangala. He achieved Bhava stage previous lifetime. So until we actually experience Krishna face to face 24/7, our realizations are imperfect and incomplete. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev, here, like, out of 10 sons, 3 sons were renouncing, and from
Right.
the beginning of their life itself, they were having the sense control.
Three sons are paramahamsas, yeah.
Yeah. So how is that, like, only out of 10, these 3 sons got this? Is it their past karmic, or how exactly to understand this?
How did the other one not be like that?
Because from the childhood itself, they have that ability. So how to understand?
Notice some distractions are here. Okay, let me say it again clearly.
The 3 sons, they were so they're controlling their senses from the
That's
beginning
right.
of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So how to understand, out of 10, these 3 had this ability?
The others didn't?
Other 7 sons, they didn't.
How to understand 3 did and 7 didn't?
Yeah, like, what was the reason, like?
It's according to their previous activities. Right? Everybody has a certain level of evolution. How to understand that somebody on the highest level and some are one notch down, for example. That's according to their previous activities. Krishna, inasmuch as they submitted to me, I reward them accordingly. So, but why somebody was 99% and somebody else was 100%? You could ask. Why these were 100% and these were only 99% realized? It's according to their previous activities. Everybody has their certain degree. It's not a carbon copy thing. Everybody has their own personal relationship with Krishna. Some are perfectly realized, some are almost perfectly realized. It's according to their individual relationship with Krishna and how much they've absorbed themselves in bhakti. Isn't it?
Yes.
All right, so that's it. Our time is up. We thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much.